Well, we begin the news today on a somber note. You want to explain to me the black armbands that we saw Arsenal wearing in Manchester today?
They were in honor, I'm sure people saw the news, the story of Alex Maniger, I believe, based on listening to highlights, is how it's actually pronounced. The Austrian, who was a former Arsenal keeper, bounced around Europe, spent a lot of time in Italy, but he was an Arsenal player, a backup keeper behind David Seaman and Jens Lehmann from, I think they saw 1997 until 2002. Arsblog had a really nice recollection of him, in particular, play some of the games he played in 1997-98 season, which ultimately were critical to us running down Manchester United and winning that title. And then as well, a penalty shootout win against West Ham when we ultimately won the FA Cup, though he did not play in the final. That was given to the regular number one, David Seaman. Also had this, certainly go check out the Arsblog piece. It was his daily blog post on Friday, but it did also include this fantastic clause involving, quote, the rearranged fixture against Wimbledon after the abandoned game in December because the floodlights were found to have been tampered with by a, quote, Far Eastern betting syndicate.
Whoa. Salacious.
1998, or I guess 97, I think, because that was the game when the game was actually scheduled. Yeah, what a world. What a world.
Meanwhile, elsewhere in England, I hear that there have been some interesting developments in the championship.
Well, not so much. Well, I guess interesting is the word for it, and Arsenal adjacent because the first promotion spot has been sealed. Coventry City has clinched their spot in next season's Premier League. They will be joining us. We have also clinched our spot in next season's Premier League. Apparently, we've done that a while ago. But yeah, shout out to the Canaries under, no, they aren't the Canaries. Sorry, why did I call them that? Sky Blues. They have birds in their logo, so that's why I was
okay.
Sky Blues. Of Coventry City will be back. First time in the Premier League since 2001. 25 years down in the down below the Premier League. They actually dipped all the way down to League Two, actually, about a little less than a decade ago. So Frank Lampard, the longtime Chelsea player, came in as manager, took them up. The general sense is they probably aren't going to be very good next year, but they'll be in it. So good for them.
Yeah.
Congrats to them. They are 10 points clear of Ipswich and Millwall for the championship title, but now they have cleared the spot to they're in one more full promotion spot left, and then of course the championship playoffs to follow.
So in other world news, I saw an article that caught my attention because the graphic that they showed with it was of a familiar stadium to me, and not necessarily the one that longtime viewers might assume. So this article that'll be in the show notes was talking about the naming rules for World Cup. And like we're familiar with for UEFA competition, right? We don't play at the Emirates Stadium. We play at Arsenal Stadium, right? So there's similar rules in effect for the various venues across the continent that will host World Cup matches, where it's not, for instance, AT&T Stadium, it's Dallas Stadium, right, et cetera. They're the city names. The one exception that was kind of funny to me was where I saw Atlanta United play last summer, Mercedes-Benz Stadium. It is a very striking building with, I don't know if avant-garde is the right word, but striking architecture, not what you would typically see. And a massive, massive Mercedes-Benz roundel on top, which apparently is so integral to the architecture that they cannot be asked to cover it up in a way that wouldn't leave the building looking like trash.
Yeah, well, so we should be clear that the renaming will take place insofar as during the tournament it will be known as the Atlanta Stadium. But yes,
right.
it is interesting. It's if you, I guess I don't know if you would have seen the roof open, but basically it's like these interlocking panels that all slide, like rotate away and rotate back in. It's really quite cool to look at.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I guess I could see, because structurally how that would go. But like, I have been, for example, to AT&T Stadium in Arlington, not Dallas. And those AT&T logos are pretty big.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Yeah, it is interesting to sort of look at and see. There is, however, one exception to these stadiums renaming. One of them actually does get to keep their name.
Oh
Did you
yeah.
catch which one that was?
No, I don't think I did.
It is BC Place
Hmm.
in Vancouver, because BC is, it's British Columbia Place. I
Okay.
believe it's actually going to be, officially it's going to be called something like Vancouver BC Place. But that's the name of that. Let's say, since it's not a sponsor name, it won't change.
Yeah, I'd imagine that the reason they do this is the same with UEFA, where it's just basically almost every stadium now does have a sponsor essentially in the name, and they want all sponsor revenue going to them. They don't want to be giving any attention to companies that didn't pay them for that attention. So yeah, sure. I do wonder, do you know when like Chelsea hosts a match, for instance, a Champions League match, is it still called Stamford Bridge or is it called Chelsea Stadium? Do you know?
I'm pretty sure it's Stamford Bridge,
Right.
because what they don't. It's not that they, because it would be particularly weird if they were, tacking Champions League or FIFA sponsors onto the stadium's name instead of that. That would be weird. But
Well,
what they
right.
don't want is, Emirates is not a Champions League sponsor. Therefore, Arsenal cannot play at Emirates
Right.
Stadium. But if
Right.
it was just, I mean, when it was Highbury, Arsenal Stadium,
Yeah.
Highbury, that was that was perfectly
That's going to be the
normal.
next thing I ask. Right. Yep. Makes sense.